What's going on, guys? This is Ken. Today I will be doing my full review of the Nokia Lumia 720. This is a mid-range Nokia Lumia smartphone. It was released quite recently, so it's a fairly new phone. After using this phone for about 2 weeks, I will give you my full review, some pros and cons, and my overall opinions about this phone. So let's go ahead and get started with my review. So here, as you can see, I have the white glossy back version of the Nokia Lumia. You can also get it in a lot of other different colors. Since I did not do my unboxing on this phone, I'm just gonna quickly show you guys what comes inside the box. So you get the SIM or micro SD card ejection tool, the Nokia Lumia 720 user guide, which I did not even open yet, the USB charging cable, some headphones or some earphones with microphone included, and of course the AC adapter for charging your phone. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Nokia Lumia 720. First, let's go ahead and begin with the design and the hardware. So the Nokia Lumia 720 does pack a 4.3-inch screen, which I will talk about later in this video. On the right side of the phone, you will find the shutter button, the volume, and the power button. On the bottom of the phone, you will get the microphone and also the charging port. On the back, you'll get the speaker, as well as the wireless charging connection port here if you have the charging accessories. And here you will see the Nokia logo. Right above that, you will find a Carl Zeiss camera, which is a 6.3 megapixel and a LED flash. Up on top, you will find the headphone jack, as well as the micro SIM card slot. On the left side of the phone, you will find a slot for the micro SD card. So you can open it with this tool that they provide you, and you can put up to 64 gigabytes of micro SD card storage. So let's take a look at the specs of the phone. It does have a dual-core 1GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 MSM8227 processor, Adrenos 305 GPU. It features 8GB of internal storage, and you can go up to 64GB of micro SD card storage. It also has 512 megabytes of RAM, which isn't a lot, but considering Windows Phone 8 does not require a lot of RAM, 512 megabytes is more than enough. So now let's move on to the next portion of the review, which is the display of the phone. So the phone does have a 4.3-inch IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen with 480 by 800 pixels, which is equivalent to 217 pixels per inch. Now this isn't a really high resolution display, but the color and the color contrast is really good. The viewing angle of the phone is also quite amazing. You can pretty much view this phone in any angle, outside or indoors. It does feature a clear black technology display, which is in most Nokia Lumia phones now. So basically the blacks are really black, and overall the color tones are really accurate. So here, taking a look at some photos, as you can see, it looks really nice. Despite the low resolution of the screen, the color contrast does make the phone a nice view. Video playback is also really nice. Here I'm playing a 1080p HD video. Of course, it will not display full HD on the screen because it does have a 480p screen, not a 720 or 1080p screen like most other high-end smartphones out in the market right now. I have no problem with the screen. If you're a person that is used to a really high resolution screen, then this phone might not be for you. And now let's move on to my opinions about Windows Phone 8, the software, and some applications. So Windows Phone 8 is a really fluid, really fast operating system. It's my first time using Windows 8. I've been an Android user and iOS user for the past few years, and I have to say that I really like the simple interface of the phone. This isn't really customizable. As you can see, you can't change to different wallpapers, but you can change wallpapers on your lock screen. You just can't change wallpapers on your home screen. You can change the colors from black to white. You can also change the colors of the tiles and just small things like that. Since this is a really simple operating system, it's not going to require a lot of RAM. So the phone only has half a gigabyte of RAM, but it still runs really smoothly. And here in the web browser, it's really fast, so it's a really smooth experience when you're surfing the web. Of course, you're not going to get a lot of app selections on Windows Phone 8 compared to iOS or Android, but you still get these really popular and big or important applications such as Twitter, Facebook, Wikipedia, music applications, and some popular games. When I compare my Lumia 720 to my 920, the app experience wasn't as good as the 920, obviously. Sometimes you will experience lag or low frame rates in certain applications or certain high intense graphics games, but in most applications it runs pretty well. So now let's move on to my favorite part of the phone, which is the camera. Let's take a look at the back here. Oh, I forgot to mention, the back does have a glossy white finish, which I really like. It feels really good in the hand, and I just really like the design of this phone. Alright, moving on to some pictures and videos of the Nokia Lumia 720. You don't actually have to go to the tiles and find the camera application. You can just press the shutter button and you can have a shortcut to the camera. So here I'm going to take a few photos. In the studio here, I have two softbox lights, so the room is really bright. That's why the photos are quite nice. And this is the Nokia Lumia 920. I failed to put on the screen protector, as you can see. I do have two soft boxes right here, so it's pretty bright in this room. So the video should be pretty well lit. So 720, 920, little video here. So I turned off my lights here. The only light source is here, but it's still pretty bright. The camera performs really well in low light situations. So here's a little test of the Nokia Lumia 720. This is outdoor, obviously, and the sun is about to set. It's almost 8 o'clock here. So here's a little indoor test. The light source is from the sunroof right up there, and it's pretty bright here. So the video footage that you saw previously was shot in 720p HD, 30 frames per second. I forgot to mention that the front-facing camera is a 1.3 megapixel shooter, which also shoots 720p HD videos. So now let's move on to the last portion of the review, which is the things that I didn't like about the phone. There isn't much that I dislike about the phone. The first one is the speakers on the back. It's a fairly small speaker, even though the volume can go up pretty high and it can be pretty loud when you turn up to the full volume. But the sound just doesn't sound really good, and it does have a really tint sound. It has a really thin voice, doesn't have much bass. Of course, it's a cell phone speaker, I don't expect much. The second thing that I did not really like about the phone, it's pretty obvious, it is the screen resolution. It only has a 480p screen. It's not HD, 720p, or 1080p. But again, this phone is only like $350. It's a fairly cheap phone, so you wouldn't expect that it will have a really high resolution screen. So in my opinion, these were the two main cons of this phone. And I would recommend this phone to you if you are on a tight budget, or if you're just looking for a mid-range smartphone running on Windows 8. Again, this is a really simple operating system, so you will get used to it really fast. So this concludes my review of the Nokia Lumia 720. Thanks a lot for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in future videos like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot for watching once again. I'll see you guys in my next video.